Hi guys, and before we get started with today's podcast, I wanted to thank the sponsor of today's podcast, which is Subscriptions by Books Co. As you can see, these beautiful floral arrangements I have in the back, they are a premier floral subscription service that really centers and prides themselves on farm fresh flowers. Y'all know I'm all about self-love and self-care as well as giving to others, and especially during the holidays, not only can you send it to someone as a gift or as a I'm thinking of you, I wish I could be there with you during these holidays, but it's also a great way to pamper yourself and just make your home a little cozier and brighter this winter and this holiday season. You have the option to personalize each order, so you can choose the size as well as the type of arrangement, and they also last a lot longer thanks to the direct farm sourcing. So I will link them down below, but I would definitely recommend them for either treating yourself again or as a gift. Let's continue on with the podcast. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Stella herself podcast. Don't forget to comment down below with your thoughts on anything that I talk about today, and screenshot this, tag me, post it on your IG story or tweet it to me. Let me know if you like it. I'll retweet, repost, all of that. I'm so excited to get started today because I feel like I actually have a topic today that I'm so excited to talk about porn. But, you know, sometimes I come on here and I feel like it's very just chit-chatty, like bullshit, but sometimes we really honestly have things like topics, and I feel like that's one of those days. Before we get started, today we have a large cold brew with oat milk and 1 pump of liquid cane sugar. It's so good. The ratio, they made it so bomb this time. But I hope everyone's having a great week. Let me know what your current favorite coffee is. Low-key, before, I just want to talk about this because it's like on my mind. But today, the day I'm recording this, the Red Table Talk with Olivia Jade came out. And I kind of watched like part of it. Like I kind of skipped through it a little bit. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts and kind of like ask you guys what you thought if you watched it. But if you don't know, she's the YouTube girl who, her mom was in Full House and she was part of the like college admissions scandal where all these like rich celebrity parents scammed their kids into USC. And when I heard she was going to be on this, I was like annoyed. It was kind of like, okay, like what can you really say? Because, like, she's saying stuff like, this has taught me so much. And it's like, I mean, yeah, like, literally, what else can you say? But a few points were interesting. She did say, like, I admit when the news first broke, I didn't know what we had done wrong. Because that's just something that happens. It's just like, and I forget where I read this, but part of what creates such a divide is that like people in power or people with a lot of money, people who basically have the abilities, the circumstances, the whatever, the finances to actually like create change in our society, they're so closed off from society because money kind of buys you space. So if you have a lot of money, you're more likely to like not take public transportation, you're more likely to live farther away from other people, live like in a gated community or up a hill, or like you're not really submerged with the rest of the population, so how are you really to know what's going on? And people just get so comfortable in their bubbles and in their life, even if it's not necessarily like an evil thing, like, oh, fuck y'all, it's still just like, how are you gonna know when you don't put in the effort? And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what she could have said or there was a point actually where the grandma kind of went in on her and was like, you realize that like they're going to do their 60 days in, like her parents are going to do their 60 days in prison and you guys are going to be fine. Like nothing is really going to change. Whereas other people, like they're not going to be fine. It's like you guys have the privilege to like still have money at the end of the day, like still be fine at the end of the day. So at least they kind of went on her on that, but I just feel like it was kind of like, I don't know. I wish they had also brought, I mean, I guess it's more like her parents than her, but just the fact that even her parents only had to do like 60 days in prison and had to pay a fine. And like there's people who literally have to do like years and years, or like owe so much for stuff that they either didn't even do or like way like less offenses. So it just kind of sheds light on like a lot of that, and I don't know, it's kind of like, what was the point of this? It just kind of made me think about a lot of these different issues and just kind of be like, ew, like how can you not know? Like, I guess it's like, even if you're not around people who are different than you, like, do you at least listen to people online? Like, there's just, I feel like so many opportunities these days with the internet and social media to hear about different people's experiences and to be exposed to different ways of like different ways that people live. And it's like, how can you be like that oblivious and dumb? Whatever. I would love to hear what you guys think of it if you watched it. It's not like I'm recommending you watch it, because it was kind of just like what you would expect. Like, it wasn't really eye-opening. I didn't personally learn anything. Like, it's kind of like, I feel like they shouldn't have even given her a platform, because it's like, again, it's like, what can you say? Like, what? That's what I have to ask myself too. Like, what could she have said to make me be like, wow? And then she was saying something about like, I don't just want to throw money at organizations. I want to invest my time. And it's like, money is a resource that people need. Like, just because it's nothing to you, or like, oh, I would rather learn myself and have a greater understanding. It's like, that's still kind of putting yourself first. And it's almost like, oh, like I got caught doing this, or my family got caught doing this, so that like I don't want to mess up again. I don't want to slip up. I don't want to look like a privileged dumb bitch again. So let me learn. It's like, do you actually care about helping people, or do you care about not looking like a dumb bitch in the future? Like, people need your money. Like, I feel like the best way to help somebody is to give them money. Because, like, bitch, you come from a rich family. Like, that's the number one thing you could do to help. Like, fuck, like, yeah, okay, yeah, an increased understanding, whatever. But do both. I don't know. There's just a few things where I was like, what the fuck? But regardless, I didn't even plan on talking about that today, but I literally was watching it right before recording this, so I wanted to share my thoughts. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say. What a year it has been, honestly. Age of Aquarius, am I right? It's like, how can you claim to like not know what goes on? And like, part of me must be like, okay, like everyone has to start somewhere, but at the same time, it's like, you have no excuse. Like, I don't know. It's just like, read a book, bitch. Okay, anyway, switching topics, should we say. Bitch. I have gotten asked by a few different people, all in the same week, to talk about porn, and porn, specifically porn in relationships, and I guess just like my thoughts on it. Like, is that cheating? I think one or two girls said, like, messaged me and said like, oh, like my boyfriend won't stop doing it even though I've asked him to. So I kind of wanted to talk about like all of it. And another girl sent me this Breeny, I think that's Breeny or Breeny. I used to watch a lot of her videos. I'm still subscribed. I just like, whose videos do I even watch today? None of them come up. Like the video so I can be in your algorithm. Same with my vlog channel. But if you guys watched my most recent vlog, I talk about how I was like looking at my top videos and stuff like for the month, because you can look at it like over like all time, but then also like per week or per month, even per day. And all of the top viewed videos, all my views were coming from like swimsuit try on hauls, which that's not a surprise, but it was like such a difference that I was like, and then I went and checked my demographics, and like most of my viewers are male. And it's not the gays and the theys. The guys watching my swimsuit try on hauls and then like spam, like they're not real views. It's like, they're almost like ghost views, because it's like they'll watch, but they don't subscribe. They don't like add anything. It just makes my channel go in those algorithms. So I privated those videos. I actually posted them on my OnlyFans. So they're still up. It's not like, it's like if it wasn't such a big difference. I probably just would have kept them up because I don't really care. But I'm like, I wonder if this is why, like, I don't really get that many views for the amount of subscribers I have, because I'm like not coming up in people's recommended. Because say you only watch like vlogs and cute wholesome content, but then majority of people, YouTube thinks majority of my audience is like males ages 50 to 60. So it's, why would I be in your wholesome content when my channel is like for males 50 to 60, you know? So I took those videos down. I don't really know if I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but hopefully it'll just kind of like stop that, because I want to be in the cute wholesome algorithms, because that's like what my channel is. Like, I make vlogs and like hauls. Like, and obviously if you're a guy and you watch like all my videos, like, it doesn't apply to you. This is for like honestly the creeps that just watch that, but like hopefully it helps. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who, because I talked about it in that vlog, and it's like kind of something that's like, should I even talk about this? Like, it's just kind of like weird. I don't know if I'm supposed to like talk about that, but so many people were so nice in the comments and like supportive, and they were like, I don't think anyone said that specifically, but a lot more people were like commenting, and I just really appreciate it. So if you do like my channel, like, just make sure that you, I guess, interact with it, like interact with the videos. Because, bitch, like, the YouTube recommended, and I was explaining that in that vlog too, but sorry to be on a whole nother tangent. I just had to get this off my chest. It's like, I'll literally watch this is the example of late. I'll watch 2 Christmas lo-fi videos, and my whole recommended will just be that. I'll watch 2 Jersey Shore videos in a row, and my whole recommended is that. There's no variety. Like, I'll go in my subscriptions tab, and there's so many people I've totally forgot about because they just don't come up for me. So it's like, how, like, I remember the YouTube recommended page, the homepage used to be so lit. Like, you could just, all the like top teas from all different channels would be there. Like, it was diverse, and now it's just like 10 videos of like similarly that I watched before, and it's like they need to broaden it. I feel like, I don't know. It's so annoying. It's annoying as a viewer too, because like I miss people's videos. So turning on post notifications, like liking the video, commenting, interacting with it, like, y'all know the deal. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully 2021, like, I can break this cycle, because it's just so frustrating. It's like, this is something I genuinely love, and especially recently with like my little weekly vlogs, and like I just feel like I've really been on my shit, and to not feel like it's making a difference, it can be very discouraging. So hopefully it's just like, hopefully this is something that will help. Like, I realized, and I did something to hopefully change it. Hopefully. Anyway, back to porn. So somebody sent me this Breeny Lee video. The point, I went on all that just to say, I used to watch her, but now her videos don't even come up because of the fucking algorithm. But she, if you haven't subscribed to her, I think she's from the UK, and she makes a lot of like very motivational videos targeted towards like women and girls, you know, like how to be a bad bitch, how to have like feminine energy, how to like have high standards, that kind of stuff. So someone sent me one of her videos where she was talking about porn, and I watched it, and I was trying to watch it with an open mind. There was some stuff that I don't know. I feel like, and I'll link her video down below so you guys can let me know what you think, but I feel like she was kind of coming at it with like this all or nothing approach. Like, what came to mind, like the guys that she was talking about, like, oh, she said like, I would not feel comfortable leaving my daughters alone with a man who watched porn, or like, if a man watches porn, he doesn't respect you, he's comparing you to these porn stars. And then she gave this example of like a rubber band, no matter how like, you could stretch it out and stretch it out and stretch it out, but it's never going to go back to where it was. And I was like, is she talking about like vagina? Like, it's like it was weird, because when she said that, she was talking about like guys who have porn addictions, and like they just need more and more crazy stuff to get them off because they get like desensitized to it. But then she said that, and I was like, what is this refer? So there was a few things that I was like, I don't know if I agree with this, because I don't know if I feel like maybe I have a different perspective just because of like, I follow hella OnlyFans girls. I was gonna say bitches. I mean that with respect, okay? And like so many adult entertainers, and I just feel like not necessarily that I'm a part of that world, but like I see it and I like understand it. So I don't know. To me, it's like, I feel like everyone watches porn to some degree. Like, you see so many videos on your timeline, like, to have this idea that someone who watches porn, like, lives in their mom's basement and is, like, perverted and, like, this has this addiction to it. I feel like that's a pretty extreme example. And that's not to say that that doesn't exist or that porn addiction isn't real, because I do feel like porn can definitely, and especially like porn videos, like acting, like not amateur, you know, videos, or like, I feel like a lot of OnlyFans content, it's like, not that it's real, because obviously if it's like still you're selling like a fantasy or like whatever, but not to say that like the addiction to it isn't real, or like it can create false expectations, especially like, I mean anybody, but especially like young people. I feel like, you know, the sex ed is really bad in this country, and I know in a lot of places. So, you know, especially when you start going through puberty and you start like being interested in that, it's like you're gonna probably be introduced to porn, or someone's gonna show you something, and that's gonna be how you first learn about it. And it's like, that's not that's not real. And especially like porn videos, like where they're acting, not an OnlyFans video, but like where like there's a scenario, there's a script. It's like, that's not realistic for like y'all know what kind of scenes go on. Like, it's just, I don't know. So I'm like, I kind of understand both sides. And as far as like the girls who were saying like, oh, my boyfriend watches porn and it really bothers me, part of me is like, I haven't really been in a relationship where that has been an issue. And then I was thinking like, well, what about guys that I have been dating or that I've liked? I'm like, the thought of them watching porn doesn't really like bother me at all. Like the thought of you being in your room by yourself, like watching a video, like, I don't know. It's like, that's not real. And then I'm like, maybe if I was in a relationship, I would feel differently, but I'm like, I don't think I would. But so like in the Breeny Lee video, she's like, that's basically like him having sex with someone else because he is getting off to another woman. And it's like, but the thought of him actually being with someone else, like if, like to me, the thought of that is like, ugh. Like if you like someone, like at least for me, I'm like, ugh. Ew. But like the thought of you just watching a video by yourself alone in your room, like that's not, I don't know. And of course, like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a difference between like having some me time and then being addicted, and this is the only way that you can get off, and it's like becoming a problem. So I'm like, I feel like I fall someplace in the middle, because I feel like maintaining a solo sex life almost, like I don't feel like that's cheating. So then what if I'm in a relationship and I'm just like alone and I'm like using a vibrator or something, but I'm like thinking about stuff, like is that cheating? And I guess it really just comes down to like boundaries within each relationship. So this article is from healthline.com and it's called "Watching Porn Isn't the Same as Cheating, but it may cross a boundary." So engaging with ethical, consensual porn while in a relationship doesn't inherently count as cheating. Having a porn viewing and solo sex practice can simply indicate that a person has a healthy sexual relationship with themselves. Still, someone's relationship to porn can become unhealthy, like they become dependent on it, and someone's relationship with porn can either point to a larger problem in the relationship or become a relationship within their relationship. So it's complicated. A partner using porn can feel like cheating for a lot of reasons. They're exploring sex without you. They're having sex with themselves instead of you. They're fantasizing about having sex with people who aren't you. The porn features sex acts that you and your partner have never done. They're hiding their porn viewing habits from you, and their sexual expectations have been affected by their viewing practices, which these are all kind of things that, especially the last few that the girl was talking about in her video. Ultimately, what qualifies as cheating comes down to the specific rules and boundaries of that particular relationship. Watching porn is only considered cheating if the couple distinctly agrees that watching porn is off limits. So that's like you specifically defined the boundary, and if they're still like going against that, that would be cheating because you're disrespecting the boundary. You're literally like going against what you said in black and white, you know? So someone's porn habits can become a problem if they're consistently choosing solo sex featuring porn over sex with their partner. They prefer solo sex featuring porn than sex with their partner, or they feel guilty, ashamed, angry, or disappointed after partner sex. Porn can also become an issue if it gets in the way of your financial, emotional, or social well-being. Porn is entertainment, not sex education. If you start basing your expectations of IRL sex off what you've seen in porn, you've lost sight of this fact. Or you're trying to reenact things that you've seen in porn rather than asking your partner what they want. So these are all things that suggest someone's porn use has grown out of control and needs to be addressed. Period. How do you sort out your feelings on a subject? Like, literally, this article is so great. First, the masturbation. Maintaining a solo sex life while in a relationship is 100% healthy and normal, and it can actually enhance your sex life with your partner because, you know, it means you have good libido, whatever. And I feel like that also goes into like, I feel like so much of, especially our culture and how we view romance and stuff. It's like, how do I put this into words? Like, at the end of the day, you're still two individuals. So assuming that like someone is never gonna, I don't know. It's like, oh, I have to be the only place where you get sexual pleasure. It's like, that's almost unrealistic because at the end of the day, you're still two individuals. So that's not to say like, oh, fuck whoever you want, because maybe that's not the relationship style that you want. But it's like, I just feel like someone is allowed to be aroused in their free time by themselves. Like, that's their relationship with themselves. I don't know. I know there's a better way to put that, but porn can be a part of a healthy sex life so long as it's not being used to replace any components of a healthy sex life. I'm not going to read all of these, but there's a whole section of like how to bring up and how to communicate about porn in your relationship. So I'm going to link this down below because there is quite a bit of it left. But I think, you know, we could all benefit from this because it's definitely something, it definitely has a lot of good information, and I feel like it's not this like all or nothing, like if you view porn at all, you are a perverted, disgusting human being who doesn't respect or have compassion for their partner. Because at the end of the day, you want to be realistic. And it's like, everyone is going to feel how they're going to feel, but you have to be able to communicate it, and you have to be able to not hold, like, you have to be able to communicate and not just hold resentment and like, yeah. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of porn? But then also, what do you think of porn in relationships? You know, your partner viewing porn. Has that ever been an issue for you? How did you work past it? Because I guess it's also like, you have, like, your feelings are valid, but then you have to, I think, look at your own, like, ask yourself why you feel that way. Like, do I feel jealous? Do I feel like insecure? Like maybe I'm not enough? And then also like, oh, is there porn use actually becoming a problem? Like, it's not, I have to work through my own emotions. It's like, no, this is actually like getting to be a problem within our relationship and within our sex life. So it's like, it's a little more complicated than just like porn is bad. I think as an individual, if you know that this is just for entertainment purposes and this isn't like real or necessarily something to like reenact, it's like, as long as you're not relying on it, as long as that's not getting in the way of your IRL sex life, like, you know, I know we all have stuff in our bookmarks on Twitter, ladies. Or not even ladies, anyone. I don't know. It's just like, let me know what you think. everyone's different. But pay for your porn. That's a huge thing. Like, Pornhub is a disgusting website. They monetize people's videos and make money off of it as a company, like without the person's consent, especially if the video was unconsensual, especially like even when. And there's like underage stuff on there and it's just like really gross. So that's why I think OnlyFans is cool, because it's like you have to pay for it, and it just allows like the creator to be in a little bit more control of, like, I guess, first of all, what they do, and then also how they market themselves, and so much. Because I know we've all heard like horror stories or been like warned of like, oh, these like porn companies, like they sign a contract and there's no way to get out of it, or like they take advantage of like young girls, like whatever. Like there was that movie Hot Girls Wanted, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's like this, oh, what was I talking about that one time? Like, it's like the first level of like feminism, and it would be like, oh, porn is bad, you're exploiting women's bodies. But then it's like, what if you are the one in control? And like this is like a choice that you're making. Like, I don't know, it's just like people just want to be like so extreme sometimes, and it's like there's actually more to it than that. So yeah, once again, would love to hear your thoughts on any of these topics. But yeah, I will link this article down below because I honestly think it gets right to the point and I love it. This is good. This is what I was kind of trying to say. It would be like when they're like, oh, he's comparing you to the girls in the videos. It's like, how, like, is he actually, or are you just saying that to yourself? Like, that's why I feel like you have to communicate about it and set those boundaries. Like, this is not me saying like, oh, everyone should be fine with, you know, your partner watching porn, but it's like you have to define your own boundaries within the relationship and communicate about it. You can't just like if you find out your BF is subscribed to someone's OnlyFans, like automatically break up with him. You know, it's like, obviously every situation is different, but I feel like actually talking about it, communicating and setting those boundaries, like not just assuming from the jump. Period. Okay, the eclipse, bitch. That's what I wanted to talk about next. So there's going to be a new moon eclipse on the 14th. I'm so excited. This is from bustle.com. This powerful lunation feels like a fresh start after last month's full moon eclipse, and it will quietly shake up our lives and restructure our futures as we approach 2021. New moons in astrology are often associated with new beginnings, but solar eclipses are like new moons on hyperspeed. Change can happen fast during these periods, so they demand flexibility on our end. So they're both in Sag, and you know, Sag fire sign going forward. Look forward to experiencing radical changes in your belief system, setting off a new path, and expanding your horizons. Grow, take risks, push the limits of our comfort zones. Yeah, I'm excited. My dad actually said he read something that's like the day of the eclipse or of the new moon eclipse, you're supposed to like do things that day that you want to do for, I think it's like the next 6 months. So he gave the example of like a doctor's appointment. You don't really want to schedule a doctor's appointment on that day because, you know, it's not like you want to be in the doctor's office for the next 6 months. It's not going. Obviously it's like you can't let astrology literally control your life, but you know, when you can kind of like, let me take time for some self-care this day. Let me get my favorite coffee this day. Let me like try to, even if you just have time for like a 5-10 minute meditation, little things like that. And I think that's like great advice. Like I love that little, yeah, like we're gonna bring this energy into the new season, into the new year especially. I was watching some couples Q&A and they were like, yeah, we started dating in March, so we've basically been dating for 2 years. Like literally, just because of like how much has happened this year, but then also I can imagine if you've been quarantined with someone for this past year, like probably like relationship on hyper speed. But yeah, new moon is, y'all know this, new moon is a time for manifesting. So if we can really put all of our energy into that day and like just this running days of that day, the 14th, I think it'll be good. And I just love, I know I say it in literally every podcast, but I just love this time of year and just that feeling like, Y'all know I love a reflection, and I love being excited for the future. And like I said in I think the last episode, even though it's like we don't really know how 2021 will be, especially as far as like how will stuff be locked down, like how long are we gonna have to be in quarantine. Like here they locked everything back up, like we can't even do outdoor seating anymore, which I think is good, but it's like, damn, I couldn't even go on a little date if I wanted to. We can still make goals, like personal goals, stuff that we can control. Like I think I gave the example of be more honest, maybe do a 5 to 10 minute meditation every day, stretch more, things like that that will, you know, stuff that we can't control. Guys, don't forget to journal. And this is mostly just me, but it's like you think you're gonna remember how you felt, and it's just so easy to forget because we always are experiencing so much and feeling so differently during different times and months and years of our lives. So writing it down, especially when you feel something just like very strongly, good or bad, or you have like a really just vivid dream, write that down. It's just, if anything, it'll just be entertainment for your future self. But I feel like a lot of the time we can like predict stuff low-key, or like our intuition is kind of telling us something, and you might forget if you don't write it down. So write shit down, y'all. I had like the most vivid dreams the other night. Oh, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. If y'all saw, I had a little weed sponsorship, which was amazing. So one of them was like, they had just like, I don't know, weed and had like pre-rolls and stuff, but they also had a whole bunch of different edibles, obviously, and one of them was this tea, and it was just a single serve. It was like $7, so it was kind of long. And it had like 7 milligrams CBN, which I'd never heard of that, but I guess it's kind of similar to CBD, but it's more for sleep rather than CBD, which is more for pain, which I didn't know that. And then I had like 5 milligrams CBD and only 2 milligrams of THC. I've never done an edible or anything, so I was kind of like nervous. Like I don't, even though I know it's not a lot, I'm still like, I don't know how I'm gonna react to this. So let me drink half. So I drank half the other night, and it says literally like, drink this and go to sleep immediately, because it's like a chamomile mint tea with this stuff in it. So I was just like watching the Great British Baking Show, and I was like, let me make this. And I just kind of felt like relaxed. There was a minute where I was like, is this gonna give more? Like, is this gonna intensify? But it didn't. And then I went to sleep. I swear to God, I slept so sound. And I slept from like 8:30 p.m. to like 6:30 a.m. the next day, which that is definitely sleeping in for me if I go to bed that early. And I woke up just like refreshed and happy, and I had like the best dreams, like literally amazing. Just the feeling in the dreams was so like warm, and like I woke up and I just felt like so comfortable and refreshed and good. I was like, is this from the tea? So I didn't want to do it again. I don't want to use the other half like the next night, but I wonder if the next time I drink it, if it's gonna have the same effect. And then I'm like, what would have happened if I drank the whole thing? So I'll let you guys know. Just want to share. Like, so it's like, was it really an edible? Not really. It was like a cannabis infused tea. I don't really feel like it was, I didn't feel high at all at any point. I just felt sleepy, relaxed, and then I just went to sleep. But bitch, I literally felt so good the whole next day. Like, just like almost how you do after a meditation. Like, I just felt like calm and relaxed, but like almost like euphoric, like just so good. Oh my God, that reminds me, this is also something I wanted to talk about, and I did a live stream on TikTok, which I think I'm gonna start live streaming on there instead of IG, because IG, it's like too many people I know follow me, and I be getting self-conscious, especially when it's like a bro. Like, I'm like, now I just feel awkward and like you're watching me. But TikTok is my safe space. But there was, I forget what the TikTok was, but it was something about like guys after they do acid for the first time or something, and there was a top comment that was like, guys, like men never really have to, they're never really prompted or like told or whatever to like self-reflect and to, you know, just prime example, the amount of magazines targeted towards women, and especially young girls, like the amount of stuff targeted to us at a young age of like how to be better at dating, how to be better, how to like enhance your life, how to da-da-da-da. And there's not really that much stuff for boys and men. So I feel like we're just constantly like told that we need to improve, and like just the amount of self-help books like recommended and like towards women, like, ugh. So this girl was like guys will have never had to do that, so they do shrooms once or they do psychedelics once and then think they have all the answers, and like they're just this, you know, spiritually developed person, when really it's like everyone else has just. And I'm not saying that like I don't know, that's not dismissive of like psychedelics and the experiences that it can give people, but just I feel like when it comes to like dudes, this is about dudes, this isn't about like psychedelics, I don't give a fuck. I was like, that's so true. And then it reminded me also of the book Why Does He Do That, about abusive men, the different types of abusive men, and it wasn't Mr. Nice Guy, I always forget what this one was called, but it was like, you know, the guy that's interested in like alternative things, maybe he's vegan, maybe he's into yoga, maybe he's just like more sensitive. And at first you think it's so cool because it's like, oh, he's not like these other guys, like he's actually like in touch with his emotions, or he's actually like self-reflective or whatever. And it's really just like, it's almost like a nice guy thing, like he thinks that, you know, he can get away with whatever because he's not like these other guys. Or like, oh, you should be glad I'm like so, well, like, and y'all remember the classic, why are vegan guys weird? That was the vibe I was picking up on. So yeah, it's like so annoying, and it's like I just want to make it very clear that I'm talking about like annoying straight guys, but it's like I don't care about your trip. I don't want to hear about it. Like I honestly don't care, because I feel like they say the same thing every time, and then especially like when it's like you haven't done it, they just like want to be the one to show you and like teach you, and like it's like get away from me. Like I don't. If I do this, it's not gonna be with you, bro. Okay. And again, that's like at straight guys. That's like nah. That's like that's like. I really want to hear about your experience if you're not at chat. Okay. Can anyone relate? Please let me know. Like it's just, like I just hate that. Like it's so annoying. Like I just want to make fun of you. The straight guys. Let me really make that clear. It's not the same as like a nice guy, but it can be. But they're just like into different things. Oh my god, I think that's all I have to talk about today, I think. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on any of these topics. I feel like low-key we covered a lot today. Don't forget to post this on your IG story or tweet a screenshot to me. Tag me, I'll repost, retweet, all of that. Like the video, turn on notifications. Hashtag get Stella back on the wholesome algorithms, okay? And I'll see you guys next week. Bye everyone.